Hi students. In the previous class, we started that E1 reaction. E1 reaction means unimolecular elimination reaction. I said elimination reactions are always favorable at high temperatures and substitution reactions are always favorable at low temperatures. That is the main difference for the substitution reaction and elimination reactions. And in the E1 reaction, if you are taking generally tertiary alkyl halides undergoes to elimination reactions. Tertiary alkyl halides undergoes to elimination reactions. In the tertiary alkyl halides, we took one example and I gave the products also CH3 and CH2, CH3, and here it is having X, and here in the first step, this is a first step, rate determining step, first step or rate determining step in the presence of a polar protic solvent, and here the halide ion is eliminated, which is forming CH3C plus and CH2, CH3 and CH3. This is a carbocation, a tertiary carbocation formation occurred. This tertiary carbocation is undergoing to second step. This is second step, and in the second step, this is a fast step. It is the fast step or it is not the rate determining step. And in the second step, in the presence of a weak base or weak nucleophile we are taking, this weak base or weak nucleophile attacks on the proton present on the beta carbon. Here this is called beta carbon atoms. We are having two different types of beta carbon atoms. This is a beta and this is also beta carbon. It is also same as this, and so if you remove this beta carbon hydrogen atom, we will get CH2 and double bond C, CH3 and single bond CH2, CH3. This is one compound, and the second one is if you remove this hydrogen atom, then we will get CH3 and C double bond CH3 and CH and CH3. This is a second compound, and I said this is the major product. Why? Because it is having 1, 2, 3. This is 3 plus 3 plus 1. Totally 9 alpha hydrogen. 3, 3 and this 3. So with respect to this double bond, this is alpha and this is alpha and this is alpha. With respect to this double bond, here the alpha carbon, this is alpha and this is alpha. Here we are having 5 alpha hydrogen, here we are having 9 alpha hydrogen. So more number of alpha hydrogens is having, so it is more stable due to hyperconjugation, and this is also called as simply Serge product. Serge product or Zs of product, and this is a minor, and this minor product is also called as a Hofmann elimination product. We can write this as Hofmann elimination product. Hofmann elimination product. So Hofmann product, Serge product. So here what is Hofmann, what is Serge means, it is in first year we studied. I am just repeating that. Serge product means whenever there is a different beta hydrogen atoms availability for the elimination, then the less hydrogen containing beta carbon releases the proton and forms a more stable alkene. And here more hydrogen containing carbon if giving, that is called as Hofmann product, which is opposite to Serge. It is opposite. Hofmann is opposite to Serge product. Okay, and here H2O combined with this proton or with this proton, and here the other product which we will get. So means I am writing here like minus H3O plus. So H3O plus is eliminated. H2O and H plus is released as H3O plus. Okay, so this is about the products formed, and here if you see the points are same. All the factors all the factors are same as SN1, same as SN1 reaction, means I will give except few, okay. Please remember, all the factors which influences the E1 reaction will be same as SN1 reaction factors except very few. In this, we will give first factor. We already studied for SN1 reaction. In this first one, what is the rate of reaction? Here, rate of reaction is directly proportional to rate determining step. This is rate determining step or first step, and this is called as a slow step also. In the rate determining step or slow step, what is the alkyl halide? Only one alkyl halide participating. So the rate of reaction is depending on the concentration of only one alkyl halide. So what is the order and molecularity? So here, order and molecularity. This is called as molecularity. Order and molecularity is 1. So whenever this is molecularity and order is 1, so this is called as unimolecular elimination reaction. So why we are calling unimolecular means because order and molecularity is 1. Unimolecular elimination. Unimolecular elimination reaction. Okay, and next point, here the rate equation depending on the alkyl halide concentration only. When concentration of alkyl halide increases, then rate of reaction increases. Then rate of reaction increases. Rate of reaction also increases. So it is not depending on the concentration of nucleophile. So please remember, only alkyl halide concentration influences the rate of reaction and nucleophile is not influencing. So we'll take the next point. So the next point is no effect of nucleophile on rate of reaction. Okay, there is no effect of nucleophile on rate of reaction. Whenever nucleophile effect is not present, so low concentration of nucleophile and weak nucleophile, or we can write this as weak base or weak nucleophile. Here low concentration of nucleophile or base. Low concentration of nucleophile or base or weak nucleophile or base is enough for the E1 reaction as like SN1 reaction. So example for this we gave now H2O or OH or COOH, okay, and PHOH. These will act as weak nucleophiles or weak bases, okay, and here that is mainly useful for the E1 reaction. And next point, here polar protic solvent is required because in SN1 reaction or in SN1 reaction, what is forming? Reaction intermediate, carbocation. So polar protic solvent. Here polar protic solvent is used to form carbocation very easily. So polar protic solvents are required for SN1 reaction and for E1 reaction. Okay, and polar protic solvents means we said now water molecules or alcohol or acetic acid or any this type of H plus releasing solvents are generally acting as polar protic solvents. And next point, Here, rate is depending on the only concentration of reactant alkyl halide molecule. It is not depending on the concentration of nucleophile. And second step is not having any rate or it is not affecting the rate. Hence, if you are taking, this is called as a non-stereospecific, non-stereospecific, non-stereospecific and non-stereoselective, non-stereoselective, non-stereoselective reaction. Because here if you are taking, we are not getting any carbocation to alkenes formation occurring only. We are not getting any one isomer. Here we are getting, suppose this is optically active, for example, you will get cis and trans isomers mixture, and so we are not telling like it is stereoselective, stereospecific, but very important point, but E1 is regioselective reaction. It is called as regioselective. What is the meaning of regioselective? E1 is a regioselective reaction. Regioselective reaction means what? It is not stereospecific, not stereoselective like SN1, but regioselective reaction. Here, what is regioselective? Regioselective means important is region. It is selecting a region, particular region. Means what? We are clearly telling that it is Sedgwick product, it is Hoffman product. How we can say it is a Sedgwick product? Yes, if you remove this hydrogen atom or proton, then we can get this product, and this is called as Sedgwick product. Or if you are removing this hydrogen atom or proton, then we are getting Hoffman product. So which product is majorly formed? How we can say means Sedgwick product is major product by removing of this hydrogen only. Means we are particularly selecting a proton to remove. We are not going optionally like. So this is particularly means it is very clear and very specific to remove this proton atom from this region only we are removing. So this is called as regioselective reaction. It gives Sedgwick elimination products as the major products or main products. So this is called as regioselective reaction. Okay, so elimination reactions are always regioselective reactions. Okay, and next point, no isotopic effect also. No isotopic effect is observed. No isotopic effect is observed. What is this no isotopic effect? Here these 2 points are new for the E1 reactions. They are not considered in SN1 reaction. Because in new, y means here elimination occurring, so regioselectivity is taken. No isotopic effect. What is isotopic effect means? Suppose if there is a CH bond and if there is a CD bond. In the CH bond and CD bond, CH, CD and CT if you are having, for example, bond energies order is like this. Means carbon hydrogen, carbon deuterium, carbon tritium. Means if you want to remove the bond between carbon hydrogen and carbon deuterium requires more energy than carbon hydrogen. Means which is a stronger bond? CD. Compared with CH, CD is more stronger. CD is much more stronger. Suppose we are removing a proton here. I am writing for example, here I am having D, one more deuterium is present. Another one is also deuterium only. So CD2 I have. Please remember CD2 I have. Here also I am writing CD2. For example, if you have CD2 here, then here also CD2 is present. And in this also, if you have CH3, and in this, which is removed easily, means is there any change? Means here it is a hydrogen removal product, here it is a deuterium removal product. So if you are getting hydrogen removal or deuterium removal product, here deuterium, one more deuterium is present. So in the final product, here there is two hydrogens replaced, so two deuterium we are having. So CD2, here CD2, because this is not removed in this, so we are removing this hydrogen only. So this is formed or this is formed when we check here. There is no isotopic effect. No isotopic effect means there is no influence on the rate of reaction for the dissociation of a CH bond. Here what is happening? We are removing this CD, or we are removing here CH3. Suppose for example it is CH2 and one more hydrogen is present. So I am writing like this, one more hydrogen. If you break this bond, then we will get this product without knowing this, without breaking this one. First remember how this product is formed by removing this hydrogen. How this product is formed by removing this deuterium only. So if a CH bond dissociated or CD bond dissociated, whatever may be the bond dissociated, but here this is not having any isotopic effect. Why? Second step and first step. Is it rate determining step? No. What is the rate determining step? First step only. It is the rate determining step. Is there any CH bond or CD bond dissociation in the rate determining step? No, not occurring. When CH bond or CD bond dissociation is occurring in the first step or rate determining step or slow step, then isotopic effect is observed. If there is no CH bond or CD bond dissociation occurring in the first step or in the rate determining step, then no isotopic effect. Okay, please remember in E2 reaction I will give, E2 reaction has isotopic effect because it occurs in a single step. So we will see later in E2 reactions. So E1 reaction, no isotopic effect. And I will give one more example for this. Just compare these two reactions. First reaction CH3, CHX, CH2, CH3. And first step, slow step. First, by the removal of halide ion, you are getting CH3, CH plus. And here, if you are taking H2O as a nucleophile or as a base, it is removing the proton from the beta hydrogen. Here, this is best one to get the more stable or major product. This is major product or more stable product. And by the removal of this hydrogen, we are getting more stable alkene. And in this process, if you are taking same product, but here it is taken as CD2, not CH2. Please check this, the difference. CD2. And it is first step is giving same carbocation as like this. And from this beta carbon, if you are removing the deuterium, we are getting this product. And this is also a major product. Now tell me, here suppose this reaction is called as a R1, rate of reaction. This is R2. Rate of reaction R1 is equal to R2 or not? Yes, this is correct. R1, R2 means rate of reaction because the reason is no isotopic effect, because no isotopic effect is observed. The reason is no isotopic effect because this is the rate determining step. First step is the rate determining step. Second step is not the rate determining step. So no isotopic observed, no isotopic effect is observed. CH bond dissociation or CD bond dissociation will not influence the rate of reaction. So R1 and R2 both are having same rate of reaction. Okay. The next point, carbocation formation. Carbocation formation. Carbocation formation is occurring. So rearrangement reactions are possible. Rearrangement reactions are possible. Rearrangement reactions are possible in E1 reactions also, as like in SN1 reactions. So what are those rearrangement reactions? Yes, we said no in SN1. 1, 2 hydride shift, 1, 2 methyl shift, 1 to phenyl shift, ring expansion or ring contraction, such type of rearrangement reactions we said. So those type of rearrangement reactions are possible. In this E1 reactions also, we will check with one example. Suppose CH3, CH and CH3. Here it is a CH, CH3 we have, and here there is a halogen, and this is undergoing to reaction with the H2O and delta. We said now elimination reaction means always that gives a weak base or weak nucleophile and delta. Elimination reaction for E1 reaction delta they provide. What is this delta value means? Always remember elimination occurs at more than or equal to 50 degrees Celsius. Elimination reactions, please remember, it is a very important point here. SN1 and E1 how we can compare means, it is a very important point. If the temperature given is more than 50 degrees Celsius or equal to 50 degrees Celsius, it is always elimination process. And suppose if they are giving less than or equal to 25 degrees Celsius, then that is a substitution process. So this is very important. In halides or alkyl halides, this must be followed. So please check the temperature. If there are degrees temperature they provide, or simply they gives delta. If the delta is given means it is more than 50 degrees Celsius temperature. And this always follows E1 reaction. E1 reaction means first what is formed? Yes, we are getting CH3, CH, CH3, CH plus carbocation and CH3. That is the first step or rate determining step. A secondary carbocation formation occurred. The secondary carbocation formed, and here from this hydrogen shift occurs. This hydrogen is shifting onto this, and this is undergoing to 1, 2 hydride shift. By the 1 to hydride shift, it is forming what type of product? CH3, C plus and CH3 and CH, CH3, and here this is called as a tertiary carbocation. Tertiary carbocation. Now we are having this beta and this beta hydrogen, both are same type, but if you remove this hydrogen atom, that gives the Sadgev product. So this is CH3, C, CH3, C double bond is formed, and this is CH3. Okay, so one hydrogen is shifted, so you'll get CH2 and here you will get CH. Okay, this is the major product or the Sadgev product. This is called as major or Sadgev product. And the minor product which is also formed, that is CH3, C, and here CH2 and double bond C, CH3 and CH2 and CH3. So this is the product formed which is a minor product. This is called as minor product. That is major Sadgev product. It is Hoffman elimination product. It is a Sadgev elimination product. Okay. And here you may think like, sir, here hydrogen is shifting you and you are removing the one hydrogen from this. Directly, why can't you remove this hydrogen atom? It is a beta hydrogen. We can get the same product now. We will do that also. But what is the path we follow? We need to follow means this is only. So, you understood or not? Here, this is a beta hydrogen for this carbocation actually. Don't write, or I am just telling like this is beta hydrogen for this carbocation. If you remove this hydrogen atom, Sadgev we are following. Yes, it is also correct. It gives the more stable major product by removal of this hydrogen. But what type of carbocation is this? Secondary. If there is a possibility of rearrangement to get a more stable carbocation, first that will occurs. After the rearrangement only, the proton removal occurs. This is proton removal minus H plus, or H2O if you are using as a nucleophile, we are getting He3O plus. Okay, we are getting H3O plus, H3O plus. Okay, then we are getting the major product. Okay, this is a hydride shift, and similarly if you do the methyl shift, phenyl shift also. Now I am taking a ring expansion process. Here, this is the alkyl halide given. ROH is given as a weak nucleophile or weak base. 100 degrees is given. So definitely even reaction occurs because high temperature is given. And now we need to check first. We need to go for the first step. In the first step, what happens? Carbocation formation occur. Here, this is the carbocation formed. Here, this carbocation is what type of carbocation? Yes, this is a secondary carbocation. This secondary carbocation, you please write the numbering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From the positive charged carbon, you start numbering and give the numbering. This is only for our understanding purpose. Okay, and then it is undergoing to ring expansion. So ring expansion process occurs. By the ring expansion process, here the bond dissociate. This bond is dissociating. So the bond dissociate and it is forming a new bond between first carbon and sixth carbon. So this is the new bond forming. So what is the bond formed here? Totally we are getting is 6 carbon atom chain we are getting, and on the first carbon you have one more alkyl group. Please remember, suppose if I am considering this as first carbon, this is 1 carbon 1, I am giving numbering again 1, this is 2, this is 3, it is 4, this is 5, this is 6. Between 1 and 6 new bond is formed. First carbon has a methyl group and second carbon gets the positive charge because it is losing the electron. Because of the bond dissociation, it loses electron, so it gets positive charge. Now what happens is there is a further chance. Here again, what is this carbocation? Secondary carbocation. The ring is maybe, this is a secondary carbocation. The ring is a 6 carbon atom ring, but secondary only. So if there is any possibility, means here what is present? One more hydrogen is present. This hydrogen will shift. So what happens here is a 1, 2 hydride shift occurs. So after the ring expansion, 1 to hydride shift occurs. Because of this 1 to hydride shift, what we are getting? Hydrogen shifted onto this, so you are getting here no positive charge. Now we are getting positive charge here. Now it become tertiary carbocation. This carbocation is more stable carbocation. After the tertiary carbocation formation, what we need? The alcohol. This is acting as a weak base. This will attract the proton from this, and in the presence of high temperature 100 degrees Celsius, here what are the beta carbons? Here this is a beta with respect to positive charge, this is also beta, and this is also beta. If you remove this beta carbon or this beta carbon hydrogen atoms, what is the product? Here you will get double bond in this side, or I am writing same product actually, but for our understanding I am writing this is the double bond. Okay, so this is the double bond. So both are same only. Please remember, it is both are same only. It is not different. And what is the other product possible? This is called as Sedge product. Other product possible is this double bond. Why, sir? Here you please remember what is the position here? It is CH3. What is this here? It is actually CH2. Here also it is CH2. So as per Sedgeff, this is called as a Sedgeff product. Sedgeff product, and this is called as a Hoffman product. Hoffman product. So poor becomes poorer. Simply, Sedgeff means I say poor becomes poorer. What is poor? What is poorer? Here poor means adjacent beta carbon atom is CH2, CH2, and this is CH3. Which is poor in hydrogen? CH2, 2 hydrogen. Here CH3, 3 hydrogen. Which is less number of hydrogen containing? This one or this one. So that is poor. It is becoming poorer. Poorer means if there is a double bond formation, what happens? Here it is getting CH and or here it is getting CH. Means it is losing a proton. Already it is poor, becoming poorer. So Sedgeff means simply poor becomes poorer. And Hoffman means poor become rich becomes poorer. Hoffman is opposite to this. Okay, so here it is more hydrogen containing, it gives the proton and gives the Hoffman elimination product. Okay, this is the ring expansion process and gives the alkene. Okay.